already with the Bravest Warrior, has a ton of CC. The only question is, can they keep up the pace? Because they don't have a very mobile squad.
One of the main things I'm looking at is mostly coming from the orders. The orders pick against the Zask. It does seem like whatever that EVOS SG is looking out for, they would want to stand their ground even when the Dominator's Descent is active. Whatever that they gotta do is just go all out, punch down the turret, or even go for the Blessing of Moon Goddess to ensure that everyone stays up on top and ensure that they are always at the top of their game. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final picks that we have so far in between EVOS SG versus RSG SG. Game number 1 of this best of 5 series. And once again, let us jump right in and have a grand introduction over here. When we have EVOS SG representing them, we do have Soul that is going to be playing onto the Benedetta, Potato right onto the Aldous, JPL onto Lolita, Girl onto that Estes, and finally Pokemon that will be rocking with style onto the Harif.
This is insane. Eldos in the hyper situation here. They throw the Harif onto the goal lane. A bit of a greedy play that Eldos is going to try to get as much soul steal as he can. And all these whip picks coming for EVOS, if it really does pull off, that is one heck of a trick. But now RSG, like I spoke about, the Selena, hitting that level 2. This is the pick coming out of Selena, the strongest mage at level 2 right now. He's definitely going to be looking for a kill. And Sana, he is one dangerous Selena to look out for.
Speaking of Sana, when it comes to RSGSG, we can also talk a little bit more about their laning situation. But for now, it does seem like Sync is going to be playing onto the Zask in the top lane. Forza rocking onto the Cho. They'll be heading all around as the tank. Jason onto the Lapu Lapu, all the way down in the bottom lane, facing off against the Harif. And finally LY4 rocking onto the Yisun Shin as we observe RSG with the early start off in the middle. It does seem like they are hungry for some blood.
And the power Q is going to be so important in blocking all those abyssal arrows for the backline. It's going to be able to soak out some damage coming from the Zaz as well. And hence why you see the Lolita going for the knockup. But Forza will bite back. This might be first blood. The multi-shocker comes up. And yes, it is going to be Sana that picks up the first kill onto that Lolita.
No problems whatsoever coming for the side of RSG. They managed to secure themselves a single kill right on top of Lolita, and that pretty much means that they have also opened up the entire 50 line for them to pick up right onto the turtle. Potato finds himself caught out for a little bit, but it's not too big of a problem. He does have some points of sustainability for himself, and RSG used up all of that space and time to ensure that they pick out the turtle as soon as possible with a total of 500 gold lead.
RSG now prioritizing the move onto the top lane. So getting taken out with the stun. Will try to use the dash to get out of trouble. But here comes Potato. They're going to try to get Forza, who's out of position. But he manages to back out really good with the Kundo. And now EVOS starting to defend this tier 1 onto the top. RSG will have to back off. They don't really want to burn the Dominator's Descent over there onto the top lane, so they're going to buy some time. Meanwhile, Jason with the Bravest Warrior comes down to Potato, gets stunned out by the missile arrow as well. Is Potato going to go down here? Esther's trying to keep him alive with the Mobile Blessing.
Crap.
But it's not enough. And now RSG getting into the mojo. This is what they're familiar with. Sana on that Selena is just a danger man.
A Blessing of the Moon Goddess is not possible to keep them one man alive. Now that is gruesome. Potato just going down just like that. RSG, the burst potential is definitely not something that you would want to underestimate. And EVOS SG right after that fight itself, it is a great testament to find out how things are going to be working out. As Jason with the Bravest Warrior, he does seem like he would definitely want to get himself away as we got Potato flying and soaring through the skies as he goes straight in with Chase Fate. But unfortunately, wrong target chosen. Would have been able to chase up onto Jason and perhaps get a soul steal onto him.
I think the idea here was to try to take Sana out of the picture. I've been speaking a lot about Sana's Selena, and this is why you don't give him the Selena. 2 kills as of now, but look at how much space this has created for RSG. Speaking about RSG, coming down to the bot lane, Go cut off position. He has JPL support. The rest of the team are here. Potato and Pokemon coming on the top lane. Sana, oh, he's going to have to back off a bit. The Mountain Shocker comes up. That's going to push EVOS back for a second. Meanwhile, mid lane, a bit of a tussle of their own. Benedetta against the Lapu Lapu. But more importantly, EVOS starting up the turtle, dragging him to their own side of the jungle, but they don't feel too comfortable about taking this one. And looks like RSG will force them to back off.
Definitely going to be a potential coming from either side of these teams as they would want to capitalize on this turtle. A imminent 5 versus 4. What Benedetta goes for is side lane push down onto the top lane as Forza takes the initiation right on top of JPL. But they don't want to force any fight over here. Surprisingly, they managed to get themselves that single turtle and then back off to allow LY4 to farm up as much as he can in order to snowball a little bit further into the ranks and into the game. While Benedetta, pretty happy up in the top lane, getting themselves the first turret.
Now we know how well Soul's Benedetta can be. We've seen him perform so well in day 1. And this is it. Benedetta just trying to buy more time for the rest of the team to farm up. Pokemon needs his items, the Elders needs his stacks. Meanwhile, JPL using the Bulwark Shield to just, soak up the damage coming off the Abyssal Arrow. And this is the good thing about Lolita, right? If you look at the heroes coming off the side of RSG, a lot of front-hitting heroes. You got LY4 playing the Yi Sun-shin, you got Sana that's playing the Selena, and you also have Sing playing on that Zaz. And this is where Lolita is just good at, soaking damage with the shield without taking damage herself.
And everyone else just going to be jumping around on top of Jason, but unfortunately, it does seem like Bravest Warrior will be able to get himself away, but unfortunately, Soul right in between, proxying things out. But it does seem like Jason and friends will be able to capitalize on all of that and bring Soul right down into the depths of hell with JPL up next into their kill contracts. The assassination from RSG is proving to be darn painful as Potato has secured another turret again. EVOS SG, they have been focusing on objectives such as turrets, while RSG focusing on kills and objectives such as the turtles.
Where top team shines. Even when you're losing, you try to get something on the map, and this is what EVOS are doing. They know they don't have momentum on the side. RSG doing a splendid job at taking control of the map. And this is where EVOS will have to back off. Tier 2 going to be down in a couple of seconds. That Zaz as well as the minion that he's summoning. It's just too much for EVOS to deal with now, but we will have to wait because Potato, he's coming up online.
We're talking about LY4 as well. Once Potato is able to get a nice dive in onto LY4, who's the one that can really be stopping him?
It's a tough question to ask because LY4, he's been babysitted very well coming into the playoffs, and now you look at what RSG have to offer, right?
It's a good setup though.
Yeah, they just need to be able to protect this Yi Sun-shin, but
Jason jumping right in with the Bravest Warrior being one of the most important catalysts to get themselves a single or maybe a couple of kills. In the meantime, the Electro pops right up from Soul, but unfortunately wasn't able to secure him anything as he tosses his soul, literally, onto the side of RSG, granting himself yet another death to his name. RSG is pretty much putting EVOS with their back against the wall. Things are definitely not looking good, especially with that power spike that we may see from LY4 because of the Blade of Despair.
RSG here, they know that they're a bit of a timer. They can't let this game go on too late. That is where Elders really start to shine. Yes, there are ways to counter the Elders, but prevention is better than cure, and that's what RSG is exercising right now. They don't want to allow this game go on too late, hence why they're moving along the map. And talking about learn the map, they find a lone Soul who could be in a bit of trouble. Electro pops up, but could it be enough? Yes, it is. Now RSG aware that their mid is getting pushed down. Jason might go down here. The last shot comes up in time for Potato, or rather Pokemon, to get the kill. Meanwhile, Sana and Forza still lingering around. They might have stayed too long for their comfort. The Abyssal Arrow will land on to Go, but he's being surrounded by both the Lolita as well as Harif. And that's why RSG is going to back off. Meanwhile, they managed to pick up a tier 2 at the bottom lane.
It is a great distraction that RSG have managed to put, right? A decent amount of players, 2 of them, into middle lane. buying time against 3 players from EVOS, and they don't even dare. They wouldn't even want to go in onto either of these players, while LY4 as well as Sync, they're just focusing on bringing down the second tier turrets, and they've been grinding this over and over again from the top lane all the way onto the bottom lane. What's left when it comes to second tier turret is definitely going to be the middle lane, and that is going to be the next part of the objective that RSG is looking out for, something that we can definitely predict out.
I can start to see EVOS prioritizing the farm of Pokemon. They need this Harif to come online just to buy a bit more time, right? Blue buff given over to the Harif. Potato, he doesn't really need the blue buff. He needs the stacks, and this is why he's starting the split push. The beauty of picking up an Eldos, yes, it's very late game hero, but what he can do is split push, get the soul steals, and then try to use the chase fate to get on the kill. Talking about Fate Chase, he comes in onto the back line. Sing might just go down here. LY4 being targeted. The smash coming in from the Lolita stuns 2 members out, but is it enough though? So coming on the back line as well. They might be able to remove LY4. One more hit to do the trick, but it's not enough. Meanwhile, EVOS focusing on Jason. They pick up 1 kill. Forza might just drop next. RSG, 3 members alive, but they're really, really low. Is this the trigger for EVOS to pick up the Lord?
That was a lot of things going on, and let's break it down for a little bit. As RSG, they have a couple of players that worked on with the Truncheon, Wind of Nature. They have got that covered. LY4 got a Wind of Nature, and I believe that Sync has gotten it himself with the Truncheon. They know that they are definitely going to be one of the priorities when it comes to EVOS SG's orders, and thus they are well prepared. As long as they pop that right up in time, then Potato is just going to be sending himself right into the heart of RSG, only for him to blink and die.
Look at that, Potato instantly diving in for LY4. The stun comes up. The bulwark will block a lot of damage coming up from the side of Jason, but he's just overwhelmed by these 4 members coming. EVOS, they switch target, they quickly remove Forza off the map, and by the time they remove Soul, they are so low they cannot go back in for the re-engage, and that is what EVOS has been looking for. Time bought on this Harif as well as Elders, and I'm afraid for RSG because this is where EVOS might pop off. Although you mentioned they have taken countermeasures against the Elders, they bought the Wind of Truncheon, they bought the
Wind of Nature,
but there's an Elders after all. Wind of Nature can only block out for 2 seconds, and that is so important. If, Potato might go for a throw here. He might go for a Wind of Nature himself. That might work.
Wouldn't be surprised.
That might work.
I wouldn't be surprised indeed. In the meantime, RSG Jason finds himself in the nick of everything else. The Blessing of the Moon God is going to be one thing that's just going to be activated as well. But the Dominion Hammer just smashes into oblivion. LY4 with just a sliver of health. But Soul is just able to get himself right in between of everything else with a really nice dash with the sword out strike. Gets himself with a total of 2, with a total of 1,000 gold advantage for the side of EVOS, SG. They have opened up the map. They understood where their opponents are. No problems when it comes to the brushes with a decent amount of those traps, abyss traps that's been laid all over the place. They have the control of the map, despite the fact that RSG has such a great starting run.
Look at that, so just pulling out the moves right now, jumping around the Lapu Lapu, dancing around the Cho, and RSG, they know that EVOS, they want to start this Lord fight, but look at So chasing them away single-handedly, and Forza, no choice but to reroute around. Sana once again finding his Abyssal Arrow blocked out by the bulwark, and Jason, oh, he goes in a little bit too early. He's the first one to go down. Tick-tock, the clock will run out, and the backline comes in. Sing will remove one off the bomb, but is it enough? No, it's not. LY4 gets bursted into flames, but Sing still trying to use the Dominant's Descent to do one sort of damage that he can, and both will take 2 apiece. But it is the carries of EVOS that's still alive. Will they be greedy enough? Will they go for the Lord? It looks like they're tempered, but Potato going up the top lane right now, kicked out by Forza. Oh, the way of the dragon pushes out of the back line, but here comes the rest of EVOS. Go, the Dominant Force comes out from Pokemon as well, but RSG, they can't take this fight and they will have to back off. Waves pushing into the middle and the bottom lane.
Yet another turret destroyed, yet another objective that is going to be guaranteed by the side of EVOS SG. But is it going to be really? Because it does seem like the rest of the members coming from RSG, even though the Bravest Warriors are currently being activated, the Zaman Force is unavailable for the picking as well. And here we go, Mountain Shocker, Forza goes right in, way on the Dragon, but everyone else is all over the place, and it does seem like Forza just going to be focusing down on the Potato, ensuring that he doesn't get anywhere closer to the opponent's side. But Soul is going to be the one thing that Sync wants to get himself right into the opponent's side, and Potato gets one, and here we go, a double, maybe a triple, but no, he gets taken down, coming in from the side of Sarah. Where is Lolita? We do not not see any part of the bulwark shield that JPL is able to deliver for himself. Sing currently with low HP, but the Abyssal Trap, Abyssal Arrow, none to be taken. JPL still A-OK, but how we go? The way of the dragon, run JPL, Sing gets one, another unstoppable, right to his spree, 10-12, and RSG is getting themselves right back on track, and perhaps even getting themselves back in the momentum and controlling down onto the map, as the Lord is definitely within into their vision and something that they would want to see.
This is the value of Go playing on that Estus. The instant that Estus goes down, EVOS loses so much of the sustain that they had in the previous team fight. And yes, you do have Potato soaking up so much damage, coming in with the shield, smashing and pounding everyone to the ground. But it wasn't enough. RSG managed to outlast the fight, even without LY4 in it. But here we go, the next Lord becoming a very important objective. In fact, the first Lord has yet to be taken. It's already evolved into an Enlightened Lord. So it's going to be a huge objective for both of these two teams.
Think is still holding on to his dominated descent. EVOS SG probably gonna get themselves closer. Forza is just gonna be getting himself right into the opponent's lines, but it doesn't seem like Pokemon he will be able to get an easy kill right on top of Sync. The dominated descent pumps right off.
Bottom
LT
lane
down, bottom lane's down, 2-person in, Lapu Lapu versus the Orders. Doesn't seem like it is going to be a 1v1 after all. It's gonna seem like a 1v3. Way on the dragon, right on the potato. He goes down, the baby does not.
Oh,
He's
the stun!
He's gonna win. He's still got a contract. It's okay. Jason Dubnik, he's gonna all the way home. Bottom lane, middle lane, they're all completely barren. Forza is still trying to get himself right back in the lane. But unfortunately, this thing is going to be the big part of the lane. And he is going to be the one who may go down next. We've got the Summon Force focusing down on the core. And everything else, EVOS SG takes the game down to the core like that easily. As they manage to get a really nice split push in.
Potato soaking all the damage.
Dominated descent. But it's going to be tough though. It's going to be tough to see that happening.
Now looking to try to pick up a 2-0 win, and then that would definitely put them on championship point. But I'm pretty sure that RSG will not have it that way. They will do everything in their power to try to stop EVOS from picking up that 2-0 victory, because that would give so much confidence and momentum into the Tiger's Raw Camp, the EVOS Raw Camp as they will call it. And I think for RSG, the game plan here is to try to get LY4 up online as much as possible, right? We saw in game 1, LY4 really wasn't in the picture, not only because of that Eldos and the fact that he has a bit of physical immunity when he goes in for the Isun Shin, but most of the team fights were very zonal, and that's not exactly the best situation for LY4, right? He wants to be freed up to do damage without getting caught out, and unfortunately, with the Elders coming into the picture, that was what LY4 was not able to do. So coming into this game, a little bit more simple in terms of execution, right? You got this Estus that's going to be able to babysit right on top of the Isun Shin. You have lanes that do really well with the Paquito. That's already a lane 1. But once again, I feel that RSG is on the timer, because you look at the lineups coming up from EVOS, right? You have a Benedetta, you have a Uranus, and you have a carry. All 3 heroes that do really well into the late game. They have quite a decent amount of burst with the Eve. So I think similar to game 1, how fast can RSG close this one out?
It's a tough road for RSG. That is for sure. Right?
I mean, they have the power spike of the Zaz and the Paquito. So that is 2 things that I will give it to them.
Provided that they are able to force out fights that they originally wanted to. But EVOS SG, it does seem like they definitely know what they are looking out for. Whenever they find themselves into any uncanny situation, they know that they're gonna have to back off and understand that a single death is inevitable. They won't try to turn things around, especially in the middle games, whenever there is 20% chances of success. That is just quite a big of a gamble. All they want to do is just foresee themselves into the later stages of the game, even though they are down in kills, as long as they hold out against the dominated descent or any form of split pushes that Soul is capable of doing, then perhaps, yes, we should be able to see the late games coming in. But speaking of Soul, right? Soul playing on the Benedetta again. understandably, he is strong. But for how RSG is playing, in the previous game, they have been trying to catch Soul completely off guard. And surprisingly, they managed to catch him out twice. And twice for a Benedetta in the early stages, I think that is counted as quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that, Soul's performance coming in the first game was kind of taken out of the limelight because of the Elder's pick and, the fact that towards the end, you saw a huge number of blast coming from JPL and, with Go playing on the Estus, constantly trying to keep their carries up alive. But, Soul's Benedetta has been that missing jigsaw puzzle that I feel that has kind of fitted so well for them coming into this very playoffs, right? You saw how he was doing so well, coming in with the Phantom Slash, constantly creating havoc in the backline, not really caring about the Lapu Lapu, not really being concerned with the Cho as well. And that is a very huge statement because, Cho is just there. It's meant to kick the Benedetta out of the fight. But with the micromanagement coming in from Soul and being very well aware of the spaces that he can play within these enemy lines, I think that's the beauty of why Soul has been brought back into action.
And speaking of Soul, it does seem like Soul is gonna be heading himself all the way up to the top lane. And speaking of Soul himself, it doesn't seem like he's going to be the one that's going to be playing onto the Benedetta instead. He's going to be heading up to the top lane, playing as the Uranus, fighting against the Zask, playing against Sync. Fighting against Sync, playing onto the Zask. So quite a lot of little bit of changes, especially when it comes to heroes. Pokemon onto Benedetta that will be fighting against Jason down in the bottom. While middle lane, JPL, as I have predicted and seems to be the case, that is going to be a tank Cho. So his main core job is to ensure that he gets a right kick. One of the kick can definitely put up onto number one, either LY4, that will diminish the amount of damage put out per fight. Kick away Forza to diminish the amount of survivability that they have. On number 3, kick Sync away, just so that the Dominator's Descent would not be that big of a deal.
That was such a close call coming from JPL. The Shattered Memory, Shattered Dreams might have been able to pick him up, but First Blood still up for grabs. But despite JPL dropping very low, EVOS still being able to stay one step ahead in front of RSG to pick up the first turtle. Not the biggest loss, I would say. Both teams still very tight in terms of net worth. Obviously, EVOS leading ahead by 1k because of the turtle, and a bit of a slight microwave management coming in from the defending side. But it looks like RSG might want to take a seat here.
Oh, that is going to be the kill coming in from Forza. Things are starting to look pretty darn great. Unfortunately for Singh, he's just going to be completely pushed right under the turret's nose as JBL's Way of the Dragon nailed it right on the spot. A 1-for-1 trade, but it does seem like it is a rather decent trade coming in from both sides. They don't lose too much, they don't win that much either, as Pokemon gets himself right into the face against Sana, the Sword Up, the Blackout Strike, whatever it is. But in the meantime, real manipulation coming in from Girl managed to get himself a kill right onto the Loi, and that is just a start, baby, as we've got Jason with the knockout punch onto JPL. We've got yet another kill coming right in. They managed to tally the score out, but EVOS SG still have got the front seat.
Yeah, that was just so unfortunate coming from Sana. He was about to complete his recall, and then you see Pokemon going in with the Elapsed Daytime passive, gets the slash in, goes in for an eye, instantly locks him down. He follows up with the word manipulation, and they instantly get the kill onto RSG members. Yes, they did give away a kill onto JPL, but a little bit of a small sacrifice.
With a massive amount of rotation coming up from RSG, they are heading and just going to be moving around up top to ensure that their Zask will be, kind of punishing out this Uranus as much as they can to ensure that, they get things under the way pretty fast. But in the meantime, it does seem like also the turtle has been up. So the turtle pretty much worked things pretty darn well for them. But, well, the control is what they're looking out for. Pokemon Sword Out strikes, he gets himself right out. I'm pretty sure that he will want to set things up with his Electro final blow. But, all in all, He's got the sights, he's got something. JPL, he immediately get himself away, but Turtle has been slain by the Brody. And Pokemon, there's just absolutely nowhere that he could go. A massive amount of buffs coming in from LY4, and not to forget the rotation and the yin-yang burst that Sana is able to bring onto the field is something that EVOS should not underestimate.
RSG starting to impose a lot of the control on the map. Look at that. You've got both the Cho as well as the Uranus cut away from the middle lane, and this is where RSG want to really take control of that middle pivotal point where it opens up the rest of the map for them. Meanwhile, we've got that Benedetta removing a lot of her effectiveness has been removed away from wave clearing, right? Because she's been called to try to join this team fight. Speaking of team fight, JPL being caught here by the rotation, but he will be able to chicken-dough his way out of it. Forza doing a mean job of making sure that his team has a bit of a map presence, trying to open up a bit of the map vision by constantly staying between enemy lines. Uranus now onto the top lane. Zaz once again does have the Dominator's Descent. Will they try to burn it to take the top lane? I don't think so. LY4 already signaling that he wants to go back and try to pick this Cho up, who's a little bit pesky, sticking up to the Loi.
JPL proxing all around the map. He's trying to open up the map as much as possible. LY4 completely putting himself into the diversion, change things about just for a bit. But JPL and Pokemon, they're playing things rather boldly.
Yeah,
doesn't seem to care at all.
I mean, you look at where EVOS members are.
Right,
it almost seems like the map is reversed, right? Yep. At one moment, you see the Cho in the opponent's jungle, then you see Soul moving around. Now you see Benedetta cutting onto the underneath the tier 3 turret at the bottom lane. And it's like EVOS is just trying to cause this mayhem by putting RSG members all across this map, trying to make them
an uncomfortable spot for them to stay in the top lane.
They're trying to make RSG play catch up.
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
In the meantime, a turret has been taken down right through in the middle lane. Electro final blow from Potato. But all in all, Jason, he did manage to bring one person down with him. And I would say that that is, in some sense, mission complete. The Dominator's Descent being popped right out on the sink. They would want to focus a little bit up top as the turret goes straight down to a 0 within a matter of seconds. JPL and Soul, they're hitting themselves somewhere in between. And JPL with that beautifully timed Way of the Dragon pushes Forza away from the rest of his team as he tried to rotate themselves out with a diversion. He stayed on for a long good time with the Blessing of the Moon Goddess, but unfortunately, he still cannot hold himself down away from the rest of the members from EVOS SG. That was one heck of a microplay that JPL showed us.
Very good catch coming out from the members of EVOS, but they had to give up once again, so which, like I said, I don't think is the biggest trade-off. It's not the biggest loss, definitely, for EVOS.
Just makes games a little bit longer for our Soul.
Yeah, but RSG, once again, similarly to Game 1, finding a bit more momentum on their side for now. And like I said, I still feel they're a little bit of a timer here, right? They need to get the Paquito spike coming in. Meanwhile, Pokemon nearly getting caught up there. The Electro final dash will get him out of trouble. Once again, being able to dodge. It doesn't matter who the better is being played on, right? They seem to be able to dodge all these skills.
With a lot of ultimates being used as well. Oh, the Shattered Memory. Oh! Did not quite land a finishing blow onto JPL as well. RSG, it does seem like they have been rotating quite a bit. 8 minutes into the game, this is the part of the mid games that I'm expecting to see. They will be rotating together a lot, they will be turtling together a lot, and of course they will be making full use of Sync's turret in order to get themselves into very favorable fight. And there we go, Dominator's Descent trying to push Potato away. Carry is gonna be put in quite a deep dark spot as we've got the mid turret being taken down. They split the fight into 2 and showing that Carry doesn't get himself close over to the front line tanks, and in this very case it is going to be Soul. RSG though, they are going to be on a timer in terms of the Dominator's Descent, so back off a little bit before they come back into the game. But the main problem is, EVOS SG, they have been all around the map.
Yeah, initially in the first half of the draft, I did say that RSG wanted to play a bit more, I would say, in the AoE control because the assets, you can see that's how it's coming through right now. Potato caught in a very tough spot, does manage to get out in the beginning of time. Pokemon going for the eye for eye, dodges a bit of damage, Sing nearly dropping low. The word manipulation will pick him up, and now Jason, oh, he's being zoned out of the way as well. Tries to go for one last punch, but here comes Pokemon with the reverse slash, will get a kill. Sana in the tough spot as well, the Loi will fall, and now go, the slow coming in. Forza might just go down, Pokemon Pokemon will trade him. Yes, he goes down to LY4, but he's the remaining member left. JPL has to be a bit careful about his positioning. That torn apart memory might just bring him down, but LY4 alone in a 4v1 situation. EVOS members now will start to take away the bouts from RSG's camps.
It's gonna be tough for RSG to catch up at this point of time, even though we are only looking at a 2,000 gold deficit. RSG, they are losing control of the map. The Lord has been popping up as well. Not to forget, Potato will have a little bit of a damage booster when we are talking about the Golden Staff. So EVOS, they are definitely up ahead, but Potato, you know, it's gonna take some time to come online still. Despite having, I believe that he does have DHS as well as the Golden Staff already, he needs to run around, get the kills in order to snowball completely out of control. But we're talking about RSG. This kind of lineup is definitely gonna be flushing Potato away from his main team.
Yeah, they really want this aerial control, especially with LY4 playing on the Brody. You know, you've got a huge amount of damage coming on torn apart memory. You have Sing that's kind of like that aerial control with that Dominator's Descent, but here we go, JPL getting caught out of position, but once again, so mobile, being able to just dodge away, not even being able to be boosted down with the torn apart memory Pokemon on the side lane as well. Look at EVOS, they are making RSG play on a goose hunt, just chasing around all these heroes. Such a pesky lineup to deal with now. Girl is the only immobile hero that we're talking about, but does have the flicker to get out of trouble. Meanwhile, Pokemon already coming in from the back line. Potato trying to target onto the Zaz. Zaz ultimate will get popped up now, but I'm afraid it might be a little bit too late. Jason dropping down really low as well, and here comes Soul coming in from the back line. They managed to burst down Pokemon just in time, but the real world elimination manipulation will be able to get Sync a kill. LY4 now coming onto the back. LY4 in the edge of a tough spot. JPL coming in. Potato instantly bursted down. The knockup coming up. The Pokito will do the trick, and now it's a 3v3. So trying to buy some time for his teammates as they try to back off without Potato in their lineup.
With a total of 1,000 gold deficit, RSG slowly taking themselves back into the game, and especially from that very specific team fight, it is going to be a 3-4-2 trade-off. RSG, they are unwilling to yield down to EVOS, and of course unwilling to bend the knee just yet. They still have a lot of fight in them, and even with the Lord enhanced, they would want to take control of the map no matter what they do. Despite having JPL all the way down in the bottom lane, despite having Pokemon just sliding all around the map, they would want to do their absolute best to regain control, get kills one after another. But I suppose one of the main problems they should be looking out for is Soul going on a side lane push.
Like I said, EVOS actually very mobile heroes here, you know, trying to tear RSG out of rotation. And now once again, Potato coming from the back line as RSG was chasing on for JPL. They drag members left and right. Who do you go for? Do you go for the Cho? Do you go for the Benedetta? There's also a Uranus that they haven't even spotted on the map. There's just so much going on for EVOS that RSG, you gotta feel a bit of pity for them. They seem to be playing catch up all the time, and they have yet to really find a clean kill. Every single time a team fight occurs, neither of these teams have been able to pick up a huge advantage, which is very surprising given that RSG has found more kills. But now we go, Girl gets spotted out in the mid lane. Sana picks him out of the rotation. Soul might drop down really low as well, but uses his ultimate to get out of trouble. Meanwhile, Potato, look at the top lane, getting pushed in as well. Benedetta onto the bottom side. JPL is not allowing them to go back. He's just going to kick them up. And now Sing going to go to the bottom lane, but he's going to lose in that 1v1. He immediately pops the ultimate. Oh, but the Electro final dash will get... I don't understand this. EVOS, it's like they're leashing RSG on this rope. It's like, come, follow me as we go on a trip around your jungle.
This is truly a magnificent display of a full-out agility lineup. EVOS SG, just like that, they managed to buy so much time as well as confusing RSG. Bottom lane is going to be the next inhibitor turret that's going to be seen under control, or rather being completely pushed down. And Pokemon, he's going to be going in neck and neck against Jason, but we're talking about Pokemon after all. Electro final blow coming from Pokemon, just going to be getting down right inside of the lane, but in between of the hearts of the enemies. But unfortunately, the Lord is going to be taken down by RSG as well, as most of the members coming from RSG would definitely want to get themselves away from all of it all, as Jason is going to be the last man remaining. as all 4 members of RSG has been subsequently been taken down despite their wholehearted efforts to bring down the Lord. The bottom lane inhibitor turret is definitely going to be under siege by Potato as well as Pokemon, and the next one that's going to be inside is definitely going to be straight out onto the core. Just the knockout punch coming in from Jason. Not much time is able to be bought as they still have got the ballistas to help them end the game right onto the core. A 2-0 victory twice in a row in favor for EVOS SG. They are truly formidable.
Lapu-Lapu, you have a Rafaela that's going to exert a bit of a sustain in the mid lane, the Holy Blessing. You do have the Selena that's going to be able to gank out a lot, especially now that you do know that there is going to be a Lunox on the side lane before her level 4. There is no way she's going to be dodging that Abyssal Arrow if it lands on her. So yeah, I think RSG, I like the game plan here, try to take a dominant early game, snowball out of control, give LY4 the space that he needs to farm. Once he gets the first 2 big items and his kit, then hopefully we can close the game out. But time and time we've seen again, EVOS, they always have a reply. So we'll leave it up for both of these 2 teams, but here it is, potentially the final game between these 2 titans, EVOS SG against RSG SG.
Let us go for an introductory route onto both of these teams here. And of course, representing EVOS SG, we have JPL rocking and of course riding on a mechanical robot, and that is going to be Joyhead, while Pokemon riding in between of Darkness and Light, playing as Lunox. Girl onto that Yves, Potato, Soccer Player, Bruno, and Soul rocking onto being the bestest warrior, the bravest warrior. He is going to be playing onto Lapu-Lapu. Onto the side of RSG, LY4, the Virtuoso, is going to be playing onto Granger. Sync onto Esmeralda as he's looking for his, magic carpet, I suppose. While Sana is just going to be rocking his world as he looks into the abyss, playing onto this Selena Fossa, providing healings all over the map, playing onto Rafaela, and finally Jason onto Paquito, or may I say Pacquiao.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sick looking skin, right?
Yeah,
and obviously no better personality to take on the role, one of the best boxers in our generation. And yep, but let's not talk too much about the skin. Top lane, we do have Lapu-Lapu being pushed back to... He nearly gave the first blood there, right? So nearly dropped. He's having a bit of difficulty against this Esmeralda. I would have expected them to kind of swap lanes by now. Lunox does do a bit better against the Esmeralda, a little bit more of that long range damage, doesn't really want to stick too close. But either way, Lapu-Lapu is going to have a hard time on both sides of the map, right? You're going against a Paquito who's going to have a lower burst. You don't have to sustain early game to really match up against that bursty boxer. Meanwhile, top lane, you're going to just completely get beaten down by Esmeralda. But there is the early game that I talked about, right? Sana going the Abyssal Arrow, catches him, first blood.
He's staring into the abyss. The abyss stares back at you, and it does seem like JPL is going to be the first one to look into that deadly mirror. So really well played coming in from the side of RSG, taking the first shot in. Oh, that far range abyssal arrow captured onto Pokemon. Unfortunately, power of order brilliance gets him out, but unfortunately Jason jumps himself back in, managing to survive that not survive on the onslaught, but Jason himself still went down to the side of EVOS SG, giving them a single kill to their name. But all in all, that has been a great start for RSG. They are landing the shots, man. Not having a Lolita in the opponent's side definitely made a very big difference.
Oh, JPL trying to do a little bit of a cheeky ejector there, tries to toss him above the wall, but doesn't really work out well, but that's fine. You got 4 stars, just going to TP back to base, heal up. EVOS SG here now, trying to buy time, and we know EVOS, they usually will be able to pull through when the items come up online, but you can see RSG putting on their bestest effort to give Lunox a bit of a bad game. She is the squishiest hero on the map currently, next to Eve. And talking about Eve, nearly going down there. Oh, Gretchen with the Sonata follows up the rest of the, but JPL will take those shots in place of Girl. Oh, so close.
It does seem like RSG, they are slowly getting their footing, right, against EVOS, pushing them back to base and then taking the fight in the other ways. such as the fact that they are just putting, well, major damage over to the side onto the turret here in the middle lane. Unstoppable force coming from JPL as he flickers himself away from Sana after realizing that he is a little bit too deep in with not much support, not much ways to get himself out of it all. As Potato dashes himself, slides himself right next to Sync as Soul finishes off this Esmeralda, and they do have free real estate all the way in the top lane while RSG were busy holding off the middle lane and allowing Granger to once again get another turtle to their team.
Looks like they're going to be swapping objectives as of now, but RSG getting a bonus turtle in the process, getting a lot of dominance on map control in the bottom half of the map. And that's where, you know, EVOS kind of lacking for now. You know, they can't really rotate to the bottom side because they want to give Bruno this good early game, and hence why they are, you know, they kind of surrender this to RSG. But now we're going to see our first team fight. Hopefully Bravest Warrior comes up. The second phase will stun Force up. There is not enough time for EVOS SG to follow up from Lapu Lapu, and that's why they will back off.
Things are looking pretty steady for RSG, despite the fact that we are only looking at 5 minutes into the game. They're putting quite a lot of emphasis down here in the bottom lane. Unfortunately, the Abyssal Arrow just did not land right on top of Soul, but it should be pretty much a-okay. The bottom lane turret is now destroyed as they are continuing, they are going to continue their pursuit and onslaught all the way to the middle lane as Sana pushes himself in onto JPL, almost getting it as the bouncing ball just gonna be, well, bouncing between Forza as well as Sana. But alas, no kills that has been credited over to EVOS SG for now.
RSG now trying to capitalize off that early game momentum that we spoke about during the drafting phase. And yes, you know, they do have this 3k goal lead, but let's see where they take with this benefit that they have.
The Void Crystal dealt a decent amount of slow right on top of Jason, while most of EVOS SG have started their initiation right onto LY4, completely tossing him out of commission while Jason was completely slowed to his death. He wasn't even able to get himself closer by getting himself the champ because he's already in champ state. He can't possibly just waste his champ state. He would want to find his way into the fight by using a double knockout strike. So that was a small little problem from the side of Jason. He didn't want to waste the champ state, and thus that is the death of LY4, or maybe they don't even care about it because he's completely out of position.
Oh!
Here we go, the Bravest Warrior just gonna be popped right out. JPL with the unstoppable force, round Forza, pushing him in the way. Jason with less than half HP. The power of the Order Brilliance from Pokemon just gonna be getting himself closer and closer to Sync. Really good power of the Chaos Darkening from this Lunox. Gets his last shot in onto Sync and allowing themselves to get more and more of those juicy rewards.
Pokemon flickered the moment he saw Sync use his Falling Star Moon, and that was how quick Pokemon actually adapted to it, right?
It was like a double, right?
Yeah, like
sliding
the moment he knew that Esmeralda was going to be slightly out of the range, he just goes in, and once again the Chaos Shot comes through, nearly gets Jason there, and now Sana in a bit of trouble himself as well. One more shot should do the trick. Potato with the crit.
Pokemon!
1,600 damage, and boy oh boy is that Bruno starting to pop off. Meanwhile, Sync and Forza trying to defend. Oh, look at how quick things get deleted, bursted into flames.
Oh, no way now. This is the power comp of EVOS. They're starting to receive their power spike. There's just no way that you can just jump right in like that. Especially when you have got a Pokemon that can just go into Darkening and throw all those Chaos Assaults onto you. Not to forget, we are also looking at JPL. While you're tossed right up into the air, all the smart missiles will be jumping all onto you. So Sync can't jump in onto the front lines like that. In fact, jumping on the back lines, we will only be able to catch Potato or even Pokemon. Once Pokemon gets himself into brilliant state, you are already on a timer.
It was now JPL once again with another toss. Forza in a bad spot. That's going to be 20 seconds without the Rafaela and without the sustain. Can RSG find a fight here? LY4 playing with fire. JPL looking to move for another ejector.
Double NOD from Pokemon and Girl. They're ensuring that Jason as well as Sync do not even get themselves that good old healing potential, but most importantly, completely denying this Rafaela from the holy healing. Double NOD this early into the game. How gruesome is this?
It's definitely tough. It's definitely tough.
A lot of respect that EVOS is putting into this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a natural build for the Eve, but you know, for Pokemon to go into it as well. Well, speaking about Pokemon, he's waiting for JPL to get the toss in. Sana gets tossed onto the back line by LY4. First one to go down, the bravest Warrior will smash him into bits. Sync, next one to go down, the Cripple Potato. Too much for the Esmeralda to deal with. No chance for a sustain. And now it's down to Sana to defend the mid lane as Jason tries to find something onto the top side. But here we go, JPL already spawning. Will he go to the top or will he join the mid? It doesn't seem like EVOS will waste any time. They want to quickly take this tier 3 while 3 members of RSG are yet to be up.
And now they're just gonna be knocking onto the inhibitor turret here into the middle lane. Unfortunately, they do not have any lore to work with, but it's okay, they don't even need to do that, as we do have the power of the Order of Brilliance. This is gonna be popping right out, coming from Pokemon. They are all gonna be getting themselves away, and far, far away from RSG, because they don't even need to do or even force out a fight. EVOS, they know that they are on a lead now. They do have a massive potential in the mid and the late games. Sync just can't go online just yet, but it is not the end game. He got Enchanted Talisman. He also got himself the Calamity Reaper. What's gonna be next is to ensuring that he gets himself a good amount of Oracle to ensure that he stays alive from Girl or even Pokemon. And surprisingly, he can burst down Potato if he does things right. As we goes on to the next part of this fight, the Void Crystal coming in from Eve slows Jason down. He used the Flicker to get himself out of all of that team fight. It is going to be a 4v4 at this point in time, as Soul is currently out of commission. But EVOS SG, they know they shouldn't get involved anymore. And of course, also because the Lord will be popping right out in 5 seconds time.
One shot from Potato. That was all it took to bring LY4 down to half HP. So you can definitely see, you know, this is where the Bruno pops off. This is where it's so dangerous to give Potato the amount of time that he had to farm. Just about 4 minutes ago, we were talking about how RSG had this early game lead. But where is the lead now? It's just gone. EVOS now having a 5k goal lead ahead of their rivals.
The game is clearly not over. Most of that late game transitions, I'm going to be looking a lot and into Sync, Jason, as well as LY4. Because the thing is, if Sync goes in with a great Falling Star Moon and just sticks himself into the face of Potato, there's really nothing much a Potato can do. With all of that movement speed coming in from the Stardust Dance, everything just can bring him forward and zone Potato away. So the late game, it is not over for RSG just yet.
Yeah, but now RSG, they need to find that one huge team fight that they've been looking for, right? You got Esmeralda Singh already gearing up to take a fight, but somehow EVOS always finding a catch with JPL, right? And it has been Forza who's been caught out time and time again, constantly being on the booting, receiving end of that ejector. But now, here we go, JPL once again trying to spearhead for EVOS.
It doesn't seem like things are looking to be very good because the Mega Creep is just going to be pushing right down in the bottom lane. While Paquito, he's pushing all the way up top. He needs to get himself back home right about now because JPL, he will definitely be opening up the map. A single swing of those axes from the Lord is just going to be popping quite a lot of damage. But Sync, oh, he received so much chaos assault damage. JPL is going to be going on with a really nice flip right on top of the Y4. One of the carries just pretty much dead. We're coming up.
Oh, is it over? Oh!
1% and RSG goes back home just like that. EVOS SG is your one and only victor when it comes to the MPL SG Season 1 in a flawless victory throughout the matches in this Grand Finals Best of 5 series, as they are more than ready to go in and touch that trophy.
They worked hard, they worked smart, and they deserve all the congratulations from us casters as well as the talent team. I mean, what a journey this has been for them, and what a return from Soul. We spoke about the stability that Soul came back in, and we talked about, you know, Girl coming into this lineup, huge shoes to fill, playing that support role, a bit of a team dynamics, you know, maybe it's shaky, maybe it wouldn't work out, but they came smashing through the regular season, dropping only 1 series to Kingsman, but they faced against their demons. They knocked Kingsman to the bottom brackets, and that's where RSG picked up the rest, 2-0ing their way through the lower brackets. A very brutal victory, but eventually at the end, they hit a stone hard rock wall, and that is none other than EVOS SG.
This is quite a bit of a performance from the side of EVOS. There's a lot of talent predictions that went towards the side of EVOS SG to take home the win, but none of us have predicted for EVOS SG to go home with a flawless victory against RSG. I'm baffled, I'm flabbergasted, I'm bamboozled because of the very fact that RSG, they were so strong in coming up from the bottom bracket all the way to the grand finals. I had a lot of expectations on them, and they are such a strong team, and they have proven many people, the viewers, us, all the way, like completely just